In this devlog, I made over 52,000 different player characters for my indie game. I'm Empathy, and in this devlog, my indie game Vitality has gotten a whole lot more players. At the end of the previous devlog, I said that I would start working on the intro of the game. As I started to work on the intro, though, I realized it was missing one crucial feature that led to the creation of all of these characters you can play as. Vitality's intro starts with a flashback, taking place around 100 years before the game takes place. This flashback has you wake up next to your wizarding mentor for the first time, and after confirming that you're one of his students, he asks what you look like. This doesn't really make sense in the story, as he should be able to see you. However, many games have used similar intros in the past, like Pokemon's iconic "Are you a boy or a girl?" and "What's my grandson's name?" type of questions. This question then leads into something that I've planned to add to Vitality for at least a year now: character customization. I've been meaning to add character customization to Vitality for a while due to the fact that it's an open world game. I want players to be able to decide what their character looks like at the start of the game, akin to other open world games like Skyrim and Elden Ring. This can help further the player's immersion in the game, which is why it's a common feature in these types of games. How it works in Vitality so far is that you're prompted as to what you look like, and then the camera turns to look at you, as this menu with color palette options appears. I've got two main palettes, the one used for your hair, hat, and clothing, and the one used for skin color. The one used for the hair, hat, and clothing has 18 colors, with slightly different shades for the hair, hat, and clothing. When it comes to what specific colors the palette has, there's a whole assortment of them, including shades of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and shades of white, gray, and black. The color palette for skin is different, however, as I didn't want players in my game to have green or purple skin, and I wanted to make sure I had a good range of skin tones. This palette only has 9 colors, which you can see here, but I think that's enough to get the job done. If there's any colors you think I should add, for hair, hat, clothing, or skin, let me know down in the comments below. I also plan to make a Salon type building that will allow you to change your appearance during the game if you want to. Here you'll be able to change to any of the colors previously mentioned. How they change your skin color, I'll never know. I'll also put this building in the Deadlands, the dying area around the Plains dungeon. Because of this, I'm not going to have the Salon open until you clear out the dungeon and heal the Deadlands. There will be multiple buildings like this so that the player has more to do once they finish the dungeon, and to make that area of the Deadlands feel more lived in before it became the Deadlands. Along with this character customization update, I added one crucial feature to the dialogue system that I showed off last devlog, and it's something that makes the game feel more polished and complete. The text in the dialogue boxes now appears one letter at a time instead of dropping in all at once. This really helps to sell the effect that the NPCs are actually talking, and once I add sound effects, it should be even better. The way that I made the text drop in like that is, in my opinion, really interesting. First, I converted the dialogue text of the character from a string, which is a single variable containing text, to a character array, a list of variables that each hold a single character. And then, I set the text variable to be equal to nothing. Next, each frame until the text is fully filled in, I add the next character from the list of characters to the end of the text variable. This creates the effect of the text slowly appearing as the character is speaking, as opposed to it just popping in. I've also added 3 new enemies that will be found in the Plains area. Firstly, we have the Goblin. It's a small, weaker enemy that will usually be thrown at the player in larger groups. It has 2 attacks, the Charge, where it runs at the player, and the Sword Slash when you get too close. Next, the Ogre. It's usually placed to have one Ogre in a large group of goblins to act like a harder enemy to beat that has more health and does more damage. The Ogre attacks by jumping into the air and slamming its fist into the ground, creating a shockwave around it. This makes you want to stay far away from the Ogre. This shockwave was originally one of the Grand Bumblebee's attacks, but I think it works a lot better here for the Ogre. Finally, there's the Goblin Mage. The Goblin Mage is a goblin capable of performing magic. and uses a spell for each of the 4 elements in my game: fire, earth, water, and nature. Most of these spells are long-range spells that will hit you more easily once you get far away. This should be a good contrast between enemies and should help the combat feel more fun in Vitality. Another change I made was making the inventory in Vitality diegetic. If you don't know what diegetic means, it means something that exists in the world, like how the menu of spells is in an actual spellbook within the game. For the inventory, I decided to spruce it up a bit and change it from this to this. Now, the inventory in Vitality is a bag that can hold your items, so it makes more sense in the world than just a menu with black background. The final few things I added were all related to the town in Vitality. First of all, there are now these guards on the walls of the town, keeping an eye on the Deadlands in the distance and making sure no monsters come close to the town. The second thing I added to the town was a name. The town is now known as Talmore. There are also these signs displaying a message welcoming you to the town. The last thing I want to mention is what I'll be working on next. I'll be working on multiple minigames that are found all over the Plains area. I'll also be completing what I said last devlog, which is completing the rest of Vitality's intro, as it's not fully complete just yet. That's all for this devlog, so make sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see the next one. This is a shorter time between devlogs than I normally have, so if you'd like having these devlogs more often, around once a month, let me know down in the comments below. See you next time!